Dear Southern Cameroonians, fellow Ambazonians, dear people, it's a great honor for us to be able to talk to you this day on the occasion of the launching of the Southern Cameroon's Broadcasting Corporation, the Voice of Ambazonia. We come to you this day directly after a very long while, as you all know. But these are the things that we need to go through for us to be able to get to where God wants to take us. We have to suffer arrest, suffer imprisonment, suffer exile. We must go through this to be able to enjoy a homeland that God wants to give us. These are our own days in the wilderness. Dear people, we come to thank you for your steadfastness in the struggle. For 3 months counting, we've not been able to talk to you, to communicate to you directly, but you have felt us. You have heard us even when we did not speak, and you have held the fort. You have stood the test of time. And now we can assure you that we are very, very close to victory. So we have come together, the consortium, the SCNC, SCACUF, Maurice, the Republic of Ambazonia, the AGC, the SCYL, and many more who are coming on board. We have come together because there is need to put up a united front for this struggle. The homeland we are going to is not for one person. It is for all of us. So there is need for everybody to be on board. For all the structures and organizations, those that began 30 years ago in this struggle and those that just came on board today, there is need for us to come together and speak one voice. That we have done, and that is why we created SCACUF. Dear people, before we go further, I would like to take you a little way back memory lane so that you know why the things that are happening at this point in time. You will remember that on the 12th and the 13th of January, there was a meeting in Bamenda, the ad hoc committee, to discuss and proffer solutions to the education grievances that we, the teachers' unions, put up. You also remember that that meeting ended at about midnight on the 13th of January with one big resolution that the teachers' unions would go out and consult the people in Bamenda and Boya to present to the people what we had negotiated on their behalf and to seek the people's authority or go ahead or accord to suspend the strike or not to suspend the strike. You also remember that on the night of the 13th, at about midnight, while we were going home from that meeting, soldiers came out of nowhere around Tarinkun Market and shot down a convoy of bike riders who were supposed to be taking me home. And that later on, one of those shot died from multiple bullets in the Bamenda Regional Hospital. And that it was on account of this incident that the consortium decided to decree a ghost town for the 16th and the 17th of January to protest the continuous killing of our children even while we were negotiating with the government. And because we dared to complain, to protest against the shooting and the killing, the government banned the consortium, banned the SCNC, and proceeded to arrest us and to jail us. And by the special grace of God, some of us were taken to safety from whence we speak today. Dear people, I narrate this little story so you know that we have done the best we could to dialogue with the government in Yaoundé. But Yaoundé knows nothing except brute force, barbarism, brutality. We have persevered, dear people, and now is the time to go home. So we have taken the decision that we had to take. The decision that God Himself has imposed on us, restoration of our statehood. And we say restoration because our independence was confiscated. It was stolen from us in 1961. And so we are going home. This assignment is God ordained. It is not by man. If it were by man, our fathers would have done it a lot earlier. But because it is God's time, and it is His time, we are going home. In this struggle, we have chosen to fight a kind of war that has not been fought before anywhere in the world. All other communities in our circumstance will carry guns and shoot down each other for the sake of freedom and liberty. But because we are fighting for our children, for posterity, we have decided that we will not carry guns and kill the very people for whom we are fighting. In the first place, we don't have the guns. Yaoundé has all the guns. We have decided to fight with our heads and with our hearts. And since it is because of our children that we fight, we decided to sacrifice their education for this year. And this is embarrassing Yaoundé. That is why Yaoundé is doing everything to force examination on children who have not been taught, to force exams on children who have been mistaught by Francophone teachers, given the wrong teachings. And Yaoundé knows, dear people, that if exams are not written this term, then it is over. Therefore, we must make sure that we stick to our guns and that we kill this academic year totally and completely. As evidence of Yaoundé's desperation, we have information that the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Buea and the Minister of Secondary Education have given information that children who have not been taught, who did not even do research, who have done absolutely nothing should be given pass marks so as to encourage them to come and write examinations. This is a sign of desperation. Yaoundé is on their knees, and we should make sure that they remain on their knees until we get what we want. They are not doing it because they love our children. They are doing it for their own personal ego, because they want to continue to destroy us. We have opted to say enough is enough. Let us say it till the end. We were talking about SCACUF and the work we are doing for this struggle. SCACUF is currently involved in a gigantic diplomatic offensive. You have heard how our people in the diaspora are marching on the streets every day in Washington, in London, in Belgium, in Germany, in New York. We are on the streets and we are meeting those that matter in the world. And we want to inform you that God is giving us success. And we are moving from success to success. We are gaining more and more international support for our cause. And very soon, pretty very soon, you shall have the great results. Even this week as we speak, we are in the US, in Washington, to discuss details with the law firm that we have chosen that will take Yaoundé to court, take the ministers to court, take the governors to court, take the security officers to court and sue them. They will be sued individually and in their names for the crimes they have committed against our people. The killing, the rape, the maimings, the arrests and torture. Yaoundé shall be sued. The government shall be sued. And we shall claim reparations for all what they have done against us. That is for this weekend. We have also created a fund that is headquartered in the United States called SCACUF, the Southern Cameroon's Public Affairs Committee. This fund is charged with the assignment of raising money to finance relief and support back home for our brothers who are in exile and for those who are in jail and in hospitals. We intend through this fund to raise money for our teachers in the private sector and for our lawyers who are currently out of job, because they are sacrificing enormously and we need to be able to sustain this struggle. And therefore, we are calling on all Southern Cameroonians and Bazonians, wherever they may be in the world, at home and abroad, to visit scacuf.org, the website, and proceed to register yourself and contribute your own penny, your own dime, your own naira, your own euro, your own dollar into this struggle, so that the teachers, the thousands of teachers who don't have salaries, and the thousands of lawyers who don't have clients because of this struggle may have a livelihood until we get home. We need to support each other as we go along. And we want to particularly say a big thank you to the business community in Southern Cameroon for the enormous sacrifice they are doing to sustain this struggle. The main assignment we have given SCACUF is for this structure to be able to raise resources that will enable us to reach out on the field to those who are in need, those who are in exile, those in prison, those in the hospitals, the bereaved. We need to reach out to the thousands of teachers and lawyers who are out of work. We need to be able to, at some point, support the business community, some of whose businesses have been destroyed by agents of destruction. We need to be able, at some point in time, reach out to almost everybody and anybody, collectively and individually, because this fight is collective and everybody is sacrificing in one way or the other. We should be able to support each other. There are some things we will be able to do now, some we shall be able to do them when we get home. But rest assured, we are getting home and everybody will have their gain and their say. Even from the holes where we are hiding, we are able to see that there is unity back home. From Kake to Furawa, from Akwaya to Esimbi, we can see that the people are united. And therefore, we need to stick to this unity that God has given us. Yaoundé had over the years divided us, created factions amongst us, but now God has united us, and we must stay united. The bondage under which we had found ourselves was imposed on us by the enemy, the devil. And it is not in the devil's records, in his books, that he will allow us go without a fight. And so the enemy is fighting us through the government in Yaoundé, creating problems, telling lies, conspiracy theories, instigating us against each other. But remember, we are a peace-loving people, a people who love justice. And when you love peace and you love justice, then you love your God and you fear him. Therefore, at this point in time, there is only one thing that should matter to us: where we are going to. Where we are going to. Where we are coming from does not matter anymore. What we have gone through does not matter anymore. The obstacles we face on the way don't matter anymore. We will crush them because God is with us. Now is the time to be united. And we want to bring to your attention the fact that our leaders are in jail. We have hundreds of our parents and children in jail. We need to continue to pray for them. If you know what pressures people go through when they are in jail, then you will understand. And the government is sending out all manner of information out of jail, sending some from the diaspora to destabilize us. We need to be smart and to be sharp. By this point in time, we should know what is it that our leaders can tell us and what it is that they can tell us out of pressure and what it is that cannot come from them. What matters now is that we are going home and home we are going. As we move on, we must and should stick by our faith. And the key is love. We must love one another. Even those who think that we should continue in slavery so that they may continue to be the only ones to eat from the master's table, we should continue to love them. We should continue to love those who think that we can solve this problem in another way by managing. We should continue to love them and tolerate one another. There is nobody who knows everything except God, whose time has come for our liberation. We should shun and avoid violence. And I want to insist, we should avoid violence. Because government agent provocateur, I'm sorry for that big French, it simply means people that government will send to come and provoke situations for us to fall inside. They will incite violence. And then when we enter the game, they will decimate us. They will destroy us to the last man. Let us avoid violence. Our parents did not fight war. Our parents were not maquisards. We didn't have our independence, even the one that was stolen through war. It was through dialogue, through negotiations, through hard work. And that is what we have opted for. Non-violence is the struggle we have opted for. Even if they burn all our markets, even if they burn our schools, as I can tell you, La République Yaoundé is sending its agents to burn down our schools and burn down our markets, to blame it on the leaders of this struggle so that they can show that to the world that we are terrorists. We are not. SCACUF does not stand for conspiracy theories. We will not frame up people to ruin them. But those who go for conspiracy theories will ruin themselves at the end of the day. In fact, very soon, they will start falling out on the way. Like our people say, when the wind will blow, then we shall see the anus of the fowl. And the wind is beginning to blow, and we shall soon see them. And we shall be able to separate the sheep from the wolf. Even the wolf that appear in sheep clothing, we shall see them and we shall know them. Yaoundé is not sleeping, dear people. Yaoundé is not sleeping, so we too must not sleep. We should pray and fast. Yaoundé is moving from one plan to the other. From football, they went to juju. I can tell you, because it was revealed as God reveals and to us everything that Yaoundé gets into. That they gathered all their juju people, even those that they use for football. They gathered them to do incantations so that we may continue to be enslaved. It failed. Now they are trying to use church leaders to subdue us. Thank God the church in southern Cameroon is a pious church. The leadership of our church fear God. They fear God with all their heart. And God has given them wisdom. Now Yaoundé wants to use even musicians longer to come and appease our people, to come and mislead them, not to talk federalism and decentralization. Dear people, Yaoundé is not sleeping. But I can tell you all of these are signs that we are getting to the end. That we are getting to the end. Tomorrow they will have no other thing to do. And then it will be time for God to act on our behalf. God has never failed us, and He will not fail us. Now we are getting into a very important moment of this struggle. We went past the 11th of February successfully. Now we are getting into a very delicate one. The month of May is the month, that specific month, during which we have been celebrating our humiliation. They call it May 20, National Day. The day that our people were asked to vote yes or we for a unitary state. We were asked to vote yes or we for a unitary state. That is the National Day of fraud, a national scandal. And we owe it to generations to come to make sure that not a single soul is seen on the streets of southern Cameroon, talk less on the ceremonial grounds. Everybody should stay home that day. If Yaoundé wants to bring its soldiers to come and march and all their weapons, let them bring and march and go. But you, our people, we will not be out on that day. The ghost that God is releasing in southern Cameroon, Amazonia, on May 20 is a ghost bigger than that which was released on the 9th of January 2017. That ghost town should be observed with passion, with fear and trembling, with hatred for injustice. That is the day that we officially became slaves in La République. And therefore, anybody caught celebrating May 20, and I say anybody, whether they are politicians of whatever creed or whatever creed, will be seen as a traitor. We are decided. Like my brother Bohebe will say, the ghost on May 20 should be a Mami Wata ghost. A wicked ghost. So let us combine the wicked ghost town and the Mami Wata ghost town and let them come into southern Cameroon on that day. Everybody should stay home. For that day is our day of national humiliation and we are throwing it away. We are not part of it anymore. After May 20, we are moving into examinations. Fictitious practicals are supposed to be going on. Our children are not going, but Yaoundé has said they should be given pass marks. Dear parents, this is the moment. This is the moment. We have not sacrificed for so long to mess it up at this hour. If you know how many thousand teachers are not receiving a salary, then you understand what people are sacrificing for this cause. But when we get home, we shall make it up to all the teachers who have sacrificed enormously for this struggle. All what they have missed in terms of wages, the government of Southern Cameroon will pay it to them with arrears. All the lawyers, the government will recognize you with arrears. All the business people, those who have had injury, who have lost people in this struggle, the government of Southern Cameroon and Amazonia will recognize that. And everybody shall be recognized. And we shall have a decent country, one we can truly call home. We want to emphasize that while we go for non-violence, we owe ourselves a duty, and the duty to protect each other. Be each other's keeper. Let each block watch the next block. Nothing should befall your brother and you did not come out. What we have adopted, we say block by block. It means block A should be block B's watchman. Some of you may be embarrassed to see me in shirt sleeves. But that is the identity. We are in a war. And in this war, you will not see me in suits. You know me. I've never been used to putting on suits when we were home. It is not now I will learn to do it. Probably when we are home on Victory Day, I will put on a 7-piece suit. But for now, we are in the struggle, and we are in the spirit of the struggle. You may see us looking stressed from time to time. Accept it that way. It will be so until we get home. We are not sleeping. So don't expect us to be looking bright all the time. When we have good news to tell you, like we have good news now, we can afford a smile. Victory is close by. And this is your television, the Southern Cameroon's Broadcasting Corporation. For 56 years, we have been denied an English language channel by the Republic. Now this is your own. Watch it for reliable, authentic information. Here you shall be informed. 24 on 24. This is your television. We want to thank all those who have worked night and day, contributing enormous financial resources so that this project is realized. We thank those who are going to continue to contribute the money for us to be able to sustain this communication channel that will take us home. Because through SCBC, nobody shall be misinformed anymore. The birth of the Southern Cameroon Broadcasting Corporation today is a signal, and a great signal. A signal of greater things to come, because there are a lot more in the pipeline. It has been a difficult birth, but when you have to have a godly child, the pangs of birth are always painful. This one has been painful, but it has been worthwhile. The signals are great. We hear that we are already being received everywhere in Southern Cameroon. Get the information, inform your neighbors, get your parabolic antennas, your little dishes, connect and share the information. Be greatly encouraged, dear people. This is the moment. The train is on, and it will not stop until we get home. We want to appeal, dear people, that we should continue to pray and fast. We want to thank God's servants in Southern Cameroon of all creed for their prayers that are sustaining the struggle. We want to thank them for the wisdom that God has given them in this struggle, and that they should continue to pray for us who are in jail and on exile, and to whom God has given the very difficult assignment to pilot this ship that will take us to Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. God is with us, and He is seeing us through. Long live Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. God bless Southern Cameroons.